Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Royal Sussex Live. Welcome, one and all. So, thank you very much to Mary H for being first. And Peaches Rose, Amaka Achukwu, LDSW, Peach Rose. Oh, I said that already, didn't I? Well, already I'm repeating myself. Connie Balmer. Hey, Connie Balmer. Good morning to you. Good morning. Good morning. Let's see. Shells, Bells, Nene, Karen Warner, Yulibi, Sharon Augustine, B. Martim, Emma D., and a host of friends and others. Okay. VS speaks royally. Hey, VS. Let's see here. Oh, B. Martim, thank you so much for the super sticker. And thank you so much for being here. There we go. Excellent. Thank you very much. Oh my goodness. Yes, I see that. Okay. Okay, and go. All right. So, guess what, y'all? There's a new sheriff in town. Can you believe that? There is a new sheriff in town. I think so. Let me see. Is there or is there not? Maybe not. Let me see here. Well, I tried. Let me do something here. Okay, maybe it didn't work. That's okay. Or did it work? No, I don't think it did. Okay, never mind. Never you guys mind. No, I'm not in trouble. I'm not in trouble. You may be in trouble. I'm not sure yet because I was trying to do something with you, but it doesn't. Uh-oh. Okay. Let's see. Yeah. Anyway, VS, don't be surprised if a wrench magically appears on your profile. Let's see here. Yeah, don't be surprised if a wrench magically appears. But only if you want to. But I just noticed I don't think there's any moderators. Oh, yeah, now I see the wrench. Now I see it. Excellent. Okay, so let us continue then. And hopefully to celebrate VS royally being drunken with power now, intoxicated with authority. Uneasy lies the head that carries the wrench, right? Right. Okay. Oh, okay. Hey, Joan Garcia. Long time no see. All right. So, how about the thumbnail I made? I actually lifted that graphic from someplace else and then I added our Duchess layered on top of it, but I knew it would come in handy. That is the eye of the artist. You take nothing and make something out of it. So, sometimes I see things that I think I can use later, and whoa and behold, there it is. All right. Jumping Jack Flash. And there we go. So this has been troubling me for a few days. This parent lost her child, and Meghan Markle is smiling like she's at Disneyland. Okay. Thank you, VS. And I get I get where they're going with this. They, as you can see, um, this is one of the few people that Meghan has posed next to that is actually not nearly as tall. Well, not as tall. But then again, I don't know if the other lady is wearing stilettos or not, but of course, Meghan certainly is. So that may be responsible for part of the height difference. So you have a photo where it appears as though Meghan is towering over this peasant who lost a child, and Meghan doesn't seem to read the room and doesn't understand the trouble that this lady is feeling, the grief. And but this is what they get wrong about that. Oh, by the way, the other thing that's going on with this photo is not only that it's being misrepresented by the Derangers, but notice how Meghan's head seems to be kind of laying over to the side like like Kitty, right? You know how sometimes that the Princess of Wales, her head kind of lays over to the side like she doesn't understand what people are saying, kind of like the RCA dog. What's his name? Nipper. Well, anyway, this is an effect that comes from the angle of a camera lens. Because of the curvature of the lens, the subjects that's on the outer part of the frame tend to, kind of curl up in the corners. Well, I fixed it. Check it out. That was my fix before, after, before, after. Now, the other thing you might notice too is that you lose a little color when you do those edits. And so I just noticed I should have darkened it up again, but it's kind of made both of them go a bit pale. But I'll fix that later. But anyway, I kind of fixed that kind of warp thing that's going on. That was really getting on my nerves. And so I fixed it. Now, aside from that, take a look here. This lady is actually someone who is definitely all about girl power. She's a girl's girl, this lady. She's someone who obviously has been an admirer of Meghan Markle for quite some time, the Duchess of Sussex. And so check this out. I took the sound out of the video because I don't know if the music is copyright or not, but so this is a video that she posted on her Instagram, that lady, right? You need to hear, oh, sorry about that. Let me go back a little bit. Pause. It says you need to hear the analogy Meghan Markle shared about social media mental health, heart. So she posted that on her Instagram, as well as this, right? Well, where she's walking on her way to see Meghan, and then right here where she has Meghan given the analogy about the seat belts and how the safety of cars has changed, and therefore the safety of the internet should change. Okay, so that's who this lady is, but I'm going to explain who she is even further. I did this the other day. The information is available. If the Derangers would have taken the time to see who she is and what she's about, they could have found out just like I did, but they weren't interested in that. They wanted to make sure that they portrayed the Duchess of Sussex as being clueless and selfish and all of the other stuff. So right here, I got the chance to hear the always inspiring Meghan Markle speak on World Mental Health Day about this very topic. The metaphor she used really resonated, that is, and gives me hope we can find safe solutions for future generations. D. Poku, founder of the We Suit and BWR. So they probably assumed that this was just, I don't know, maybe a nurse, a doctor, um, a lawyer, a working professional, perhaps, who lost a child and found herself in the unlikely position where Meghan Markle is smiling and not really taking her situation as serious as she should, and she just wants to be seen in front of the camera. That's the narrative that they have been using for days. I have been seeing that every time I run into one of those derangers on social media, and they are making reference to New York. And so, as you can see, this lady is, yes, she's a working professional, and she's also very much an advocate. She's has humanitarian roots, or whatever you want to call it, not this poor woman who, and you know what, for all I know, she may or may not have lost the child, but she did not say anything about it in her post. So I'm going to assume that that's not why she was there. She is a very dynamic woman who wanted to be in the company of other dynamic women. And so the other reason why they have tried to sell this narrative, and I face it, it's very easy to do that because the lady has kind of that in a, how do they say it, wait a minute, enigmatic, I would say enigmatic smile, like the Mona Lisa. She kind of smiles like the Mona Lisa, is a bit flirty, is a bit jovial, is ever so slight and subtle. You don't really read her feelings from the way she's smiling there. But but maybe she was not really ready for the photo when they snapped it. That's a possibility. And because of the way Meghan is pushed off to the side, and as I mentioned, it kind of, you know, has her head warped a bit. You know that there's other people in the photo that are not seen because this woman wanted the photo of herself and Meghan and nobody else. So she literally cropped the other people out of it. Or perhaps for the privacy of the other people that maybe she didn't know, she cropped them out the photo. So there's all this going on that I was able to sort out days ago, but yet they continue this narrative that Meghan doesn't read the room. Meghan is only there for herself. Meghan doesn't care about these families. She's only trying to use them so that she can rebrand herself and get noticed, etc., etc., etc. All of those things that they have managed to squeeze out of this photo instead of what I just told you. As a matter of fact, let's see here. So this is actually, that is not what I wanted to share. You know what? Let me do it like this, because I just realized I did not grab that photo that I wanted to share with you guys. So I'm gonna have to do it another way. Is this it? Yes, this is it. So I do have this video that you don't have to watch the whole video. I just want to show you the parents. This woman was not one of the parents that was on the stage with Meghan. She was not one of the speakers on the stage that shared her feelings about losing a child. Indeed, I'm not even sure that she is one of the parents that lost the child. As I said, she appears to be someone who was interested in being in the company of other dynamic women. And she was able to secure a ticket and she went to New York. Pardon my, I'm trying to, okay, I'm just going to let it play. She was hardly alone. Then the parents of 16 years, I'm going to let it play until it gets to where I need it to be. But yeah, so that was it. That was it. So there are two of the parents right there. But there's a photo that has a set of has a all, well, you'll see in just a minute. In the meantime, Leg says working royals who have the RR are really doing it for the causes and not the PR. But Meghan and Harry that work behind the scenes anytime they are seen is for PR, is for the PR. Okay, let me try that again. Let me see. Closes are not for the PR, but for Meghan and Harry that work behind the scene. Anytime they are seen, it is for. Oh, okay, okay. So you're saying that they're making that claim about the Sussexes, even though it's actually them who are bringing the royal rodents with them just for the sake of appearances. Thank you very much, Legs. Got it. And thank you for the super chat. So let me see if I can find that. Oh man, I'm not finding it. Anyway, I wanted to show you all of the parents um, that were speakers at this event. But anyway, I don't see it. Maybe I don't have it here either. But that's the point that I was trying to make, is that she was not one of the parents that was speaking at this event. And it just seems as though she was glad to have an opportunity to see Meghan speak or meet with Meghan, whatever the case may be. But she has her own, I suppose you can call it an agency or not for profit or women's group with other women. So, yeah. I love this right here where Meghan is waving. I love that. So she's saying hi to me. Yeah. Okay. So sorry about that. I don't think I have it there. All right. And so here's a further explanation. Her name right here, it says, name the Marie Claire. Okay. Named one of Marie Claire's magazine's 50 women changing the world. This woman was named by Marie Claire magazine as one of the 50 women changing the world. Now, honestly, I've never heard of it before, but that doesn't matter. Dee Poku founded the We Suits with the goal to create a community that redefines success and how women achieve and experience it on their own terms and in support of each other. Now, that is very Meghan right there, women supporting other women. Having formerly held senior roles at Paramount Pictures, does this just sound like someone who wandered off the street and was hoping to talk about her feelings and was shot down by Meghan emotionally because Meghan didn't take her serious? Does that sound like who she is? And Focus features Dee pivoted to entrepreneurship when she realized there weren't enough safe spaces and resources for women to accelerate their careers and learn from each other in a way that was constructive rather than competitive. Again, all of this information was available. Now, yes, I did have to dig for it by looking through her Instagram, but that's who she is. But they are portraying her as this woman that Meghan, I guess, slighted in some kind of way. It is just absolutely repugnant. I got that from Samuel L. Jackson, repugnant. But it is. It is. It's disgusting. Okay, I'll get to that in a moment. Let me see if you all have any comments to go with that. Absolutely, she does, Myra V. And I can never say that word. That's what I was trying to say. Enigmatic. There we go. Her enigmatic smile. Thank you for saving me, Catherine. That's what I was trying to say. And wait. I got to set it up in my head first. Enigmatic. Oh man, that word always catches me. But that is how they describe the smile of Mona Lisa. And by the way, that is a very beautiful woman. And that is how I would describe that smile right there. I see that smile as someone who is in a very good place with someone that she may or may not have met before. I don't know. But it seems as though this woman, if I could take anything away from her smile, she has a life mission of helping other women help themselves and help each other. And being in the company of Meghan and all of these other women that were there, it put her in a very good place spiritually. That's my read from it. That is my body language. I believe that she is in a good place. Um, I mean, just look at this. She's walking down the street and she's on her way to see Meghan. I'm sure there were dozens of people that felt the same way. She wanted to record that moment. She wanted to be able to share it with people and leave it to the Derangers to turn it into something completely different just for the sake of hate. Hating for the sake of hating. Uh, let's see. Miss Max says, Baron, her community is called We Suit. Uh, Sweet, sweet. Yes, right. We sweet. I keep saying suit. You're right. You keep saying suit. Yeah. Well, if it suits you. Okay. Okay. All right. So that's all I wanted to say about that is hopefully, if there's an honest broker out there listening, let's say you don't like the Sussexes, right? You can't stand the sound of my voice. I'm always laughing. I'm always ringing that bell. I'm always talking about Europe. Even if you can't stand me, please go back and set the record straight. Please. This is a very heavy topic that was the purpose of this gathering. And to debase it by asserting that this woman was somehow slighted by Meghan Markle is just wrong on so many levels. I mean, yes, I did accuse Kate Middleton of having a handbag that was made of such inferior quality materials and toxic epoxy that it probably caused nerve damage to everybody she went near. Yes, I did say that, but it was all in fun. It was all in fun. It wasn't for a meeting like this. This was just a walkabout where I accused her of having a cheap, toxic knockoff handbag. It's not like it was, I was just having fun. So I get it. I get it. As derangers, you all have a mission to try to figure out how to destroy the Sussexes. But for something like this, can we play fair? That's all I'm saying for something like this. So take that back to the community of haters. And instead of spreading lies and misinformation, how about spreading the truth? Joyceville says, when are we going to stop hoping that the Derangers are going to be fair and have any kind of sense? They never will when it comes to Meghan and Harry. They keep looking for things to exploit. You are absolutely right about that. And, well, it probably won't happen, but you never know. There may be one honest broker among them. And if that is the case, please go back ye unto the rest of those terrible people and tell the truth, right? Tell the truth. Okay. Patrice and Dylan, I didn't go to them. It found me. It found me. When I saw this lady and knowing the lady's background and everything, I, of course, could see in big letters exactly what they were doing, and they keep doing it. I mean, it found me, and that's the unfortunate part about the Twitter is sometimes you don't have to go looking for trouble. Trouble will find you. And well, when I saw what they were saying about her, I had this information already. I shared this information the other day, but then I saw them telling that big fat lie. Sean says this makes no sense going after one woman every day, all day, one woman who's paying them dust, and the rest of the sane world can see it too. Exactly. Thank you, Sean. And thank you for the super chat. But yeah, it makes little or no sense whatsoever. But I don't think that that's at all the point. Obviously, it's a woman of color, a woman who has African ancestry, a woman who is a happy go lucky, believes in the fairy tale endings and wants to help people. And they have branded Meghan all sorts of things that bear no reality whatsoever to the person that she is. But they had to do that. They had to project those lies upon her in order to make the real wicked witch of the devil and the rest of them look good. They had to tarnish her reputation as much as they could, whenever they could, because it helps out those other people. I saw some young person, and not that it matters, but that person seems to have been of Southeast Asian descent. And the reason why I point that out is that this person who doesn't live in the West, they live, in that part of the world, as far as I could tell from their social media, said something disparaging about Meghan. And it really begged the question, if you are not a Western person, if you don't live in the West, what do you know about the Duchess of Sussex other than the nasty comments that you have picked up from social media? And this person said it in such a very flippant way, a very short, precise sentence, um, dismissing Meghan in a negative way. I won't even say what that person said, it doesn't matter. But surely this is a learned behavior. This is something that was picked up from the social media, from any of a dozen, actually tens or maybe thousands of websites or YouTube channels, wherever they get it from, but they're so casual with their hate. I don't even think this person is a person of hate. It's a person that has been trained. And that's the big difference is that myself as a supporter of the Sussexes, is so rare. Actually, I never go nasty on the rest of that family in those spaces. I don't. Now, do I get, snappy about correcting them? Yes. But I don't go into their spaces. They come over to us. Now, there may be some people that are squatties, or maybe not even squatties, just Sussex sympathizers that find themselves in the spaces kicking butt and taking names. But I don't practice it. And I think most of the, old school squatties that I know do not go into those spaces. But for those of you that do, listen, I don't mind roughing it up sometimes when it suits you. When you need to get something out your system, get it out your system. I say one thing and one thing only. Please don't make it personal and don't threaten anybody. But if you got something you need to get off your chest and you just happen to be in Derangerville, when you do it, go for it. Go for it. I do it in my own way. sometimes you guys may think that I'm solely speaking to you, but no, when I'm doing my pushback, there's an audience of people that may not necessarily be the Sussex squad that I am speaking to, that I am chastising, that I am setting straight. It makes me feel better doing it. So I reserve most of what I have to say for Royal Sussex. And I don't even post a lot on Twitter. Sometimes I will, but I don't post a lot about anything on Twitter. I mostly, observe, I like, I share, but I do very little posting. But from time to time, I do post some of the funnier photos that I have edited um, on Twitter, and that's about it. So I don't have the. I know some people have a lot of anxiety or PTSD or whatever from being on Twitter. I don't really have that because, like when people post Royal Sussex on their threads, a lot of times I don't see it, or sometimes I may not see it for a month because I don't usually gravitate to it. So if it's something really offensive, chances are I may see maybe 10% of it. So, but yeah, it can be very damaging to one's mental health to go into those spaces. So, let's see. Alma Andrews says, Baron, the Derangers are going to misrepresent the wrong person one of these days and probably end up in court as karma does have a long memory. Amen to that, Alma Andrews. And thank you so much for your super chat. Lydia, thank you so much for being here, Lydia Washington. Did you know that there was a new sheriff in town? Yes, there's a new sheriff. Let me see, what theme was that I just put? Wait a minute, what theme was that? Wah 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 wah. I know it's a western. Isn't that something? I knew that a minute ago and I just forgot. It wasn't High Noon. Oh Lord, I forgot. Anyway, that was a very famous movie of some sort, and I can't remember. Wah, 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 wah. Anybody know what theme that was? Uh, hmm. Was it the good, the bad, and the ugly? It was something with Clint Eastwood, right? It was something. No, it wasn't Bonanza. Bonanza is bum 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 bum, and you can do it with your hand. Bum 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 bum. Dun, 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 Bonanza. Yeah, that's Bonanza. Uh, can't believe we're having this conversation. Joanne Garcia says, Bear and haters never let up on Princess Diana either. I don't expect them to ever stop with Meghan. They're so full of hate, they can't see straight. Yeah, Joan Garcia, if history is any indicator as to what we could expect, there's always going to be a core group of people that have it in for the Sussexes. It's very unfortunate, but again, if history is any indicator, or what is it? If past is prologue, yeah. HL, thank you so much for the Cash App, and thank you, Joan Garcia, for the super chat. Okay. Wah, 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 wah. Gunsmoke? Yeah, it is Clint Eastwood. I know it's Clint Eastwood. No, it's not Gunsmoke. I don't even know what Gunsmoke theme is. But I know that's not it. But it's a Clint Eastwood movie. I think it's the good, the bad, and the ugly. Let me see. Are you really? Not about your new elevated status on Royal Sussex. I'm the one that's humbled that you accept, but thank you very much. And by the way, you all, I just so you know, VS Speaks Royally, she helped me out a lot when it comes to working the YouTube. She actually reads that stuff that I'm usually like, I'll figure it out later, but she actually explains it better than the YouTube does. So VS has helped a lot of us other content creators by because a lot of stuff that she's helped me with, I've shared it with other people. So thank you, VS. Uh, okay. And all right, so I think I'm done with that. I think I'm ready to put that one to bed. So let us move on. Now, I swore that I wasn't going to share the pap photo of the Duchess of Sussex, but Blue Salt has already done it. So I'm just showing you the tweet, the Instagram from Blue Salt. Somewhere on Earth. Well, yes, Meghan is wearing a Blue Salt maxi, long sleeve crew maxi dress, and you can see it right there. Meghan was wearing Blue Salt dress on her way back from Billionaire Island, where billionaires go to escape millionaires. And that very small print that I can barely see says, let me see if I could. Okay, right here it says Meghan was spotted in a black Blue Salt long sleeve crew dress, $220 by the way, complimented by her Hermes Bride de Gala applique peak shawl. Yeah, okay. And Hermes something sandals, Oran sandals. She carried her Caribbean cream of the island flour and feed sack, shopping bag, which cost $16. Her other accessories remain unidentified. So there you go. That is what she wore. Um, and so, yeah, there was some people who were trying to say that Meghan had actually made a stop to see Tyler Perry, but this may be a shuttle flight that they have taken from the island to the uh, Atlanta, what is it, Hartsfield Airport. So I suspect that they were in transition from the island back home. And the reason why I say that is because if they were visiting with Tyler, Tyler probably would have put them on one of his planes or something like that. They would have likely have flown commercial back to LA. But the reason why I say that is be simply this is that, as I explained the other day, they tend to check the tail number of flights that they suspect anybody that they want to get photos of or photograph. They will check the tail numbers, and they do that when they try to track the record of someone's whereabouts or where they've been or whatever. They will do that, and I don't care how big and how famous you are. Anybody is subject to that. And so, that being one of the busiest airports, if not the busiest airport in the world, surely they have people there that will snap photos. And so, that is likely how that happened. The other reason why I don't believe this had anything to do with Tyler Perry is because of this U.S. Customs and Border Protection. Well, because of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex flying in on what appears to be, I'm going to say, a Bombardier private jet. It looks like a private jet. It's like a regional jet. Probably doesn't have the range to go out to California. But they met up here with the Border Patrol. And then it seems as though they actually got in the vehicles. And these are the photos that I pixelated, of course, before, I didn't want to share the PAP photos. But again, Blue Salt has already done their thing. But yeah, so they seem to have gotten inside of the Border Patrol vehicle or a vehicle next to it. But likely their passports were stamped at the airport. And then it was on to their connecting flight. So I'm sure this has nothing to do with Tyler Perry. There is that outside possibility that, maybe they went there right after the fact. Who knows? But I'm banking on the fact that they have been away from home for like a week, time to go and be with the children. And so they got their passport stamped and everything. They went through customs, and then it was off to LA or wherever. Okay, so that is my guess. Okay. And have you guys noticed I'm doing much better today? Yesterday I was all like, in a bit of a state given the news and everything, but usually after a day I can recover. I can bounce back from almost anything. Cassie Lee, thank you so much for the super sticker, and thank you so much for watching. Royal Sussex, happy Wednesday to you. Today is somebody's birthday, and I don't know whose birthday it is. There's like maybe 3 or 4 Libras woofing down my neck. And yeah, what is it? October and November is always confusing because there's just so many birthdays. There's so many people who caught a chill back in January and February, and then all of a sudden the babies come. And so there's a pile up of birthdays in April. I'm sorry, not April, but in October and November, myself being one of them. So there you go. Oh, and you guys, I don't know if Rohini is here, but I received something from Rohini. I haven't went to go and pick it up yet. But whenever I go back to Chicago, I will definitely pick it up. So I'm not in the area right now, but when I am, I will go and pick up my gift that I received from Rohini. I can't wait. I'm excited. I'm going to have to take a photo so you guys can see it, which means what? I'm going to have to put my teeth in. Yes, I'm going to have to insert my choppers so I can take a photo and share it with you guys. I'm excited. I haven't been this excited since Oprah's farewell season. Oh, well. But you guys know how I love gifts. All right. So thank you again, Cassie Lee. And okay. Emerald Derek says, Baron, I agree with you. They flew in, got their passport stamped, and got a connection flight home. Yeah, that seems like the likely scenario. And just remember, all those people who were saying, I don't think that's really them in the photo. That's not them in the photo, only to find out because of this connecting flight that it was likely them in that photo. So it doesn't matter. I mean, it doesn't hurt to guess one way or the other. Wait, who's going to sleep? Susie Q. Good night, Susie Q. Thank you so much for being here. As always, thank you. And Lambert Charles is here. Thank you. Yeah, happy birthday again. And many happy returns of the day. Okay. And of course, not to be outdone, the man on the cutting edge of fashion himself, the overbloated Mount St. Thomas Markle, the mountain that was traversed by Carolyn Graham in order to gain access to one of the most disgusting, morbidly obese pensioners I've ever seen in my life. A man who have never seen a bucket of chicken he didn't like. A man who seems to have some type of kinship with the Yeti of the Great Northwest, which, by the way, there is a new investigation into the Yeti. So don't be surprised if we're hearing more about Thomas Markle in the near future. But yes, they're doing an investigation of the Yeti, And well, you never know. He might get that attention that he's been lacking, that he's been wanting so desperately. Maybe he'll get that attention. I mean, after all, a Yeti's gonna Yeti. uh, I don't know what it is about him that tickles me so much. I mean, he's a awful person, and maybe it's a good thing that I could look at him and have a good laugh because it stops me from thinking the thoughts that I have. So maybe that's a good thing. Um, of course, it's not my intention to humanize him. I mean, at first he would have to be a human to humanize him, but since we know that he has the blood of a Yeti, thank goodness it doesn't transfer. But because we know he have the blood of the Yeti, then it'll be impossible to humanize him. Leg says, "Oh, let me see. Watch out for that knee. It might be the season. Yeah, I got to watch out for that knee. Yeah, that it must be like a weak knee, or maybe he's in need of a replacement or something like that. But that little awkward, it always seems like he's gonna topple over. I'm just always afraid that he's going to just like he's gonna go down. So anyway, let me get this person off the screen. Well, she's not our little girl anymore, is she? I love these photos. I love it. Essence, the rise of feel good guru Tabitha Brown, Ashante Adams, Jonathan Major. It is time to forgive. And then, of course, the year of radical self care. And who's the cover girl? Why, it is Simone Biles. I love it. I think it's absolutely beautiful. I tell you, a photo like this or these type of photos, on your worst day, you can go and find these photos and feel really good about yourself. But yeah, love those. And the gown is cute too. Oh, I was doing you all a favor by getting rid of him, but let me see. No neck, the Duke of Mexico. Okay, get it out of your system while you can. But yeah, I like those photos. Very beautiful. I mean, very artistically rendered. Okay, and now let me do a little break beat because I'm going to need some water to get through this. I am going to need a little water because this right here is kind of like a continuation. So, let me begin. Let me see. So it says here, Meghan Markle forgets that people are only interested in Prince Harry, writes newspaper that has published over 20,000 attack articles aimed at Meghan Markle, in some cases over 40 per day. So take a look at the article that Edwin Hayward tweeted. Royal Family Live, Meghan Markle forgets that people are only interested in Prince Harry. The royal commentators' comments come as Prince Harry and Meghan Markle reportedly planned their return to this side of the pond after a tumultuous 2023. I'm sorry, I'm still here. I'm trying to picture that. Now, when they say return to this side of the pond, does this person actually want or persons, I see there's two writers, Are we supposed to believe that they want to move back to the United Kingdom? That they're sick of their independence? That they're tired of that palatial Italian villa style home that they live in a climate that is pretty much on par with the Mediterranean? Are we supposed to believe that? Okay, but that's not the focus of what I'm uh, showing you. I'm just sticking with the part about how many articles that they have run. Now, at the top, it says there on the right side, as the dust settles on the coronation, I summarize the facts about Harry and Meghan. Frankly, there's little to say. Despite this, the Express published 136 overwhelmingly negative articles about the couple over a 4-day period, where many were uh, brutally aggressive and insulting. PQ, thank you so much for the PayPal. Yeah, thank you so much for the PayPal. And if you look at some of the headlines for those articles, Harry and Meghan in the UK late morning on Friday, 5 May, on a commercial American Airlines flight, not by private plane, as the tabloids originally falsely reported. Okay. All right. I'm sorry. This is not the headlines. This is him doing the fact check. I'm sorry. I'll show you the headlines later. But that's his fact checks. And then right there, he gave no interviews and spoke to nobody on camera. So again, they were going to try to make the case that Harry is just out for attention. Let me see. He come to the coronation dressed as requested. He wore a morning suit and his Afghanistan service medal, as well as medals for the golden, diamond, and platinum jubilees. He nodded and smiled to guests as he walked down the nave. Then he sat in the third row, his view partially obstructed by the feather on Princess Anne's hat. Next, he chatted to Princess Beatrice and Princess Eugenie and their husbands and laughed with Princess Anne. Next, he waited patiently outside the Abbey for an opportunity to depart, left for the airport without participating in further coronation-related activities. Next, he flew home on a commercial British Airways flight, departing at 3:45 p.m. It landed at 6:34 p.m. Saturday local time, a little ahead of schedule, helpful, given that he wanted to catch the end of his son's 4th birthday and faced a very lengthy drive from the airport. Meghan said nothing and did nothing on the record. She stayed home and did not appear in public. So these are the facts surrounding the Sussexes during the coronation. And let's see, the couple did not release a statement to the media, even though it has become tradition for them to do so. The couple also did not release a photo of Archie on his birthday this year. So they did absolutely nothing to seek attention during the coronation, but yet, as stated, 136 overwhelmingly negative articles about the couple over the 4-day period. Many were brutally aggressive and insulting. So, in spite of the fact that Meghan said nothing, did not share anything to do with Archie, even though it was his birthday on Coronation Day, and Harry went there, he appeared in his morning suit, wearing his medals, and grabbing his clothes hanger, went back to BA and went back home. And yet they were managed to squeeze out 136 articles about nothing. I mean, let's face it, it was about nothing. It was much to do about nothing. And then take a look here. This Twitter person, he's been on the case for a while. So take a look over there. It says, here's another small researched example of the freight train of hate the Express directs at Meghan and Harry. And then, as you can see, he's retweeting from April 14th. This is what industrial scale hate mongering looks like. All the stories below attacking Meghan mainly and Harry quite a bit appeared on the Express website within 24 hours. And I count, oh, did I do that one twice? Oh, no. I count 44. I did do it twice. Yeah, I did do it twice. Sorry about that. Sure did. Oh, he says try again. Why did he do that twice? Okay, this is confusing me. But anyway, yeah, you get the drift. This is what industrial scale hate mongering looks like. All of these stories below attacking Meghan mainly. Yeah, it looks like a repeat, but I don't know why he did it twice. But okay, so let's move on. Now, this right here, this is what institutionalized. Now, this is from May the 5th, which was, March the 5th. This is 2021. So that is Oprah Winfrey interview time. That was the Oprah Winfrey interview. So this is what institutionalized bullying and racism looks like. 50 articles attacking Meghan Markle were published on the Express website yesterday. That's 50 articles in 24 hours. One headline in particular, highlighted below, deserves special attention. Media didn't bully Meghan. If anything, they glossed over warning signs. Trouble lays ahead, right? So if you remember that because of the Oprah Winfrey interview, because Kensington Palace, they didn't have any idea what was in the interview. And remember, they wanted a copy of the interview in advance. So that way they would be able to put together some type of vigorous defense to whatever the Sussexes said. And CBS very boldly and very wisely put them in their place by saying, we don't ever share that type of stuff before an interview. We haven't done it for anyone else, and we're certainly not going to do it for the royal family. So that caused a lot of bad blood between CBS and the royal family. But they said what they said. And also, when they were putting together a promo for the Oprah Winfrey interview, or was it the interview itself, where it included those very racist headlines like Straight Outta Compton and a couple of other things. But yeah, those headlines were shared in conjunction with the Oprah Winfrey interview. So you can see some of the things that they wrote about, but 50 articles in a 24-hour period. Here's the rest of them right here. Piers Morgan fumes at Meghan Markle for diluted Oprah interview, self-serving bilge. All of this in 24 hours. And it is industrial scale hate mongering. It is bullying. And because they didn't know what the Sussexes were going to say, they decided to claim that Meghan was the bully. And after getting their marching orders, as we know, all of the royal rodents and the rest of the media over there, with the exception of a few, all joined in the chorus of Meghan is a bully. Meghan is a bully. Meghan made Kate cry, etc., etc. Well, actually, they stopped the Meghan made Kate cry because Meghan had actually dispelled that one herself during the interview, and they did not try to contest it. So Lynn E says, good evening, Baron and Sussex Squad, sending blessings and positivity to each one of you. Let's uplift the Sussexes with our unwavering support. Yes, thank you so much, Lynn E. And that is exactly what we do in the Sussex Squad. We uplift with our unwavering support. Thank you so much for that. Oh, and thank you for being a member, by the way. Okay, so continuing with this. Now, as you can see there, March 5th, not only was it the Express, but this one right here, by comparison, the Sun is practically a model of probity with this mere 28 aggressive headline yesterday. There's tends to be even more vicious than the Express. Now, remember, this is his tweet from the 5th of March, 2021. Where they lack in number, they make up in impact. Where they lack in numbers, they make up in impact. And as you can see, there's their 28 nasty articles directed toward the Sussexes, like the Queen's. Queen is a liar in new Oprah interview, says Piers Morgan. So Piers Morgan, in order to fan the flames of hostility against the Sussexes, that pretty much was him accusing the Sussexes of calling the Queen a liar. Let's see. Powell brands her battle with Palace as nasty. I noticed a lot of this is Piers Morgan. Queen gets a new corgi puppy to help her through Meghan. I never saw that. I don't think I've ever looked at any of these. Suanna Reid defends Pierce over his Meghan comment as GMB panel attacks him. Yeah. So don't forget, not only did the interview happen, and that was the first time, as a reminder, that was the first time the Sussexes had spoken about anything to do with that institution for the whole year from the time that they stepped back from official royal duty. Remember, the Oprah Winfrey interview was a year almost to the day of when they left Narnia. And so they had kept quiet, as Harry said. We didn't say a thing. And we were hoping that a lot of this would die down. But yet, the briefing and the lies continued. They kept briefing and lying and leaking against the Sussexes for a full 12 months before they decided that they would address some of the things that were inconsistent. And then, of course, after that, there was a whole deluge of rhetoric and lies and misrepresentation from the media to follow up. So even with them telling the truth, what was that? They came up with the 17 lies they told or whatever. So they were spinning and spinning and spinning. And the unfortunate side effect from the interview was, yes, the Sussexes had a chance to set the record straight. But the bad thing is the media monetized all of their lies and accusations against the Sussexes. They were able to monetize that. I guess the other good thing, Hoghead lost his job. That was a good thing. He's never been the same since. He desperately wanted that job back too. Let me see. Jacqueline Wiseman says, God don't like ugly. Hope the Derangers have lots of barbecue sauce to cool off when they end up in hell. Jacqueline, that is some very strong language. And I bet you're just the sweetest person. But when it comes to the Sussexes or anybody else that's being bullied, I bet you all pretense of being that little sweet, innocent, humble person, I bet you all of that disappears when it's time to set the record straight. And that's a good thing. I love that. But thank you. Let's see here. Terry H says, can one person survive such These attacks on the daily basis is unbelievable. Yeah, it's not until you see them laid bare like this then you realize that it takes a whole team of people to produce this. And then, of course, all of this goes to the editors. Okay, so we left off with the Sun, right? Let's go up to the Telegraph on the right side. The Telegraph, 19 articles. And that, again, of course, was from March the 5th, 2021. What about the Telegraph? That upmarket tabloid, for those who know how to spell Hell Hitler. I like this guy. Well, there's a search engine leaves a lot to be desired, but they published at least 19 articles yesterday. Okay, so all of this is the 24 hours of the 5th of May, 2021. And then bringing up the rear, the Daily Fail. But let's not forget the Daily Mail, who managed to scrape together 31 articles yesterday from the sewer they get their Meghan Markle attack stories from. Note they tend to go for ridiculous long headlines that summarize the whole story. So have, what is that? Truncated for space. Yeah, so there you go. And yes, that is 31 articles from the Daily Fail. Let me see if I can make out any of those headlines. Okay, so, Janet Street Porter. I'm not a huge fan of Meghan, the Duchess of the Duchess of Woke, but I don't believe being bossy makes you, okay. That's okay. And then Jan Moore says, will Andrew and Harry bring down curtain on Real Crown? Real Crown. Yes, it's spelled real in capital letters. I'm not sure what that means, but okay. Family focus on pandemic and Commonwealth program ahead of Oprah interview. So that must have been before the, well, remember, they got the interview very late. Remember that, because it was on prime time in the US. So they were probably writing articles. And we do know that Dickie and his daughter and a couple of other people, they claim to have seen the interview before it actually aired. And considering that CBS made it a point to say we did not share this with anyone, let you know how desperate they were. And see, Oprah has her own studio. I doubt if CBS had a tape of their own. It was probably broadcast directly from Oprah Winfrey's studio and then quickly shoved in the vault or, locked up in some website somewhere that they own, or file that they have, because of course all these things are electronic now. They don't use film. I'm pretty sure that they managed to lock it up and it won't be seen again until Oprah is ready for people to see it. And let us not forget, Oprah also said that they were together for 3 hours and 45 minutes, something like that. Was it 4 hours and some change? Whatever it was, there's a lot of footage that we did not see. So there's also that to consider. So who knows? At a certain point, Oprah may decide to go into the vault and get some of that footage out. Okay, let me continue. Now, if you're following along, that's 128 almost unanimously negative, many very hurtful and offensive articles about Meghan Markle across 4 newspaper websites in 24 hours. That's a pace of over 45,000 articles a year. I wonder how much money they're making from that. There is a terrible sickness in parts of the British media. And then at the bottom there, you can see he says, apologies for deliberately misspelling her name throughout this thread. thought that might go some way to limit the number of trolls stumbling across it. So he was deliberately spelling it Merkle instead of Markle, hoping to throw off some of the trolls. I was like, wow. I actually corrected the spelling somewhere because I thought that that was a typo. But it turns out he did that on purpose just to try to throw the trolls off. So, um, this is why I always say I want the Sussexes to be billionaires because these articles, this clickbait, made a lot of money for a lot of nasty, negative young people that wrote these. And a lot of these writers are young. I've seen a few of them. When you click on their names and look at their bios, it's like these are some very aggressive, nasty, right leaning articles, or that is, writers that were given a hatchet and told to go and start chopping away. So that is how this evolves. And then, of course, like with Janet Street Porter, there's a lot of old, nasty individuals that write these articles. And of course, from where we started, Meghan doesn't understand that people really only want to see Harry. This person said the story isn't even about Meghan at all. It's purely about the royal commentator's comments. Literally, a royal correspondent writing a story about a royal commentator's comment. Markle may as well be a fictional character used solely as a base to keep commentators in work. Now, let that sink in. This isn't about Meghan Markle. I'm sorry, this isn't about Markle at all. It's purely about the royal commentators' comments. Literally, a royal correspondent writing a story about a royal commentator's comment. Markle may as well be a fictional character used solely as base to keep commentators in work. And that is the very desperate level that they have sunk to, because remember, the Sussexes said that they are no longer going to work with the Royal Rota, meaning, of course, that they were going to go to independent and more friendly media. Well, occasionally some stories are dropped with People magazine, and I'm trying to think a couple of other places they may have dropped. Not directly, of course, but the point is they promised that they were not dealing with those people any longer, and that has been a promise kept. And so, because of desperation, as he said, a royal commentator's comments. They're writing about a royal commentator's comments to keep the lights on. So yeah, that's interesting. It shows desperation, and it shows how low they have sunk. It really does prove how low that they have sunk, that they are reduced to writing articles from other people's comments that also happen to be a journalist, reporter, or author or whatever. Judy Matasi says, "Staying up for you. I'm gaining weight. Pie, ice cream." Jesus. Oh, okay. Well, just saying. I'm sorry. Judy, if it's any consolation to you, I just finished those cookies I had, and now I'm going to power walk to throw the container away. But that's what I suggest. When you're done, power walk to the light switch and turn the lights out, and lock up for the night or for the day or whatever. Yeah, just power walk it off. It doesn't have to be a mile walk. It doesn't have to be 1,000 steps. It's whatever you want it to be. But thank you so much for the super chat. That's what I do. I power walk it off. So far, the results are not exactly what I hoped for, but in time, Judy, you and I are going to be so slim, it is going to scare people. Oh, well, let's see here. And let's see, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle look slightly lost as they try to rebrand themselves. And yeah, so they have been sounding off about the Sussexes trying to rebrand themselves for the longest. And the truth is, they don't know because since they have left from the UK, since they have settled in California, since they seem to have a very loyal staff of people, there are no leaks in Montecito. There's just a lot of conjecture and guess and all that kind of stuff from the royal rodents and the people who, I guess, sympathize or hang out with the royal rodents, but they don't know. And this year, 2023, um, seems to be an awakening for the Sussexes, where it's onward and upward. Now, there is a type of rebranding that's going on, but not exactly what they're talking about. They are referring to commercially, but I think that the Sussexes have said what they needed to say. Harry's book has been a runaway success. The docuseries has been a runaway success. It actually made a huge profit for Netflix in the UK, of all places. It's been very successful. And their time at the Invictus game solidified their position with the public as being this dynamic couple. It was something that people have already known, but it's gone that much further. It's been tremendous. It's been amazing. 2023, and the year is not over with yet. So it's onward and upward as far as I'm concerned. The trip to New York, huge success in spite of all of that stuff that they were trying to say, in spite of misrepresenting that lady who posted the picture on her Instagram. People know better. People know better. And look at the flood of new subscribers to Duchess of Success. Look at the flood of new subscribers to Royal Sussex. Look at how many new Sussex friendly spaces there are. All of that evolved because the Sussexes are keeping their focus on what they need to do and not being pulled into these traps that have been set by the tabloid media. They are focusing on their work. They are working behind the scenes. They are still, in comparison, rarely in front of the camera. This is the most that we've seen them in a period of time this short. This has been the most we've seen them since they left Narnia, right? So it's not working. It is not working. And I'm just, I guess what really amazes me is that, where is that at? Uh, every day for like a week, I've shared one article after the other. I had like a whole tapestry, a whole quilt of articles across the screen, 2 or 3 slides of it, where there was nothing but praise for the Sussexes, celebrating Meghan's look, of course, but there was nothing but praise for the Sussexes. Um, and with all of that, still on the 16th of October, days later after the event was what, the 10th? So a week later, almost a week later, they come up with this idea that the Sussexes are trying to rebrand themselves. Whatever it is or is not, as long as people are not listening to their petty lies and all their innuendos and stuff, I'm here for it. I'm glad. It puts me in a good mood. And the fact that they were reduced to trying to use this person who was completely misrepresented. There we go. completely misrepresented in the world of the Derangers. I'm actually surprised that the tabloids did not pick up on this and try to run with that same story. I mean, hold your breath. They may do it anyway, because a lot of times the articles that the tabloids write are dictated directly from the Derangers. A lot of those articles. So I wouldn't be surprised to see it. But as long as people with good sense, as long as the people that matter the most know otherwise, then I'm just going to keep setting the record straight, and I'll leave it at that. But there's a reason why there's been a flood of new subscribers to the Sussex friendly spaces, and that's because more people have listened to their story, have read the book, have seen the docuseries, and they feel that there's a grave injustice that has happened. And for the people on TikTok or on the shorts that literally make the case against that institution's treatment of the Sussexes, or the tabloid media's lies and mistreatment of the Sussexes, I mean, they spell it out in such a way that it's like I don't feel like I have as much work to do myself. So I'm glad for that. All right. Oh, I need to go back down to where I was. Okay, so I'm gonna go with this next. I'll leave that up there and let you take a look at it, and then I'm gonna talk a little bit about that. Let me see here. Oh, who's under the weather? Deborah Robinson? Ricola. 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 I'm convinced that there's not much that you can't help with Ricola, but I hope you feel better. Fall is kind of a tricky time of year. It seemed like whatever's going to happen to you, that is going to come down in the fall when it's wet and miserable. Not exactly so cold as it is just damp and miserable some of those days. Novi D says, why aren't they writing about the working royals who are out and about? I know they are boring, but yeah, you're right. They are boring. Well, didn't Jasmine say it best the other day? Well, not the other day, but I shared that video where Jasmine was, saying that everybody knows that Harry and Meghan are the real meat when it comes to the way that they write. The rest of them are so boring that it's like a waste of time. It's almost like a punishment when they have to go and cover the other royals. Let me see. Reba Henderson says, I told y'all these people have made up a fictional character for Meghan, but want everyone to believe their lies to make money. They have made money off Meghan, but also made her world famous. Yeah, it has definitely elevated her popularity. And I don't mean popularity in that everybody likes her, but I mean popularity in that name recognition, it has soared to heights that are in the stratosphere because of this campaign. So I hope they can get every advantage out of it. I really do hope that whatever advantage there is to be had from such terrible treatment, I'm hoping that they can take advantage of it however they can, whenever they can, or however they want to. I am here for it, because those articles and the ones that look just like them, it's a billion-dollar industry attacking Meghan to a greater extent than Harry, but yes, a billion-dollar industry. It has helped create Talk TV. Talk TV. What would it be without Meghan's name in their mouth? GB News. What would that be without Meghan's name in their mouth? Both of those networks, channels, whatever, they were able to pull attention in their direction because of the constant misrepresentation, lies, harassment, bullying of Meghan. Let me see. Jose says, thanks, Lydia, always. Oh, sorry about that. Not for me. Cookies and Cream says, I wish the Sussexes would sue some of these nasty right-leaning jackasses that's writing these lying negative articles, hit them deep in their pockets, hold them accountable. Hear, hear. Hear, hear. Yeah. Well, I hope this has helped people understand, people who have not really understood up until this point. These may be kind of new to some people. For most of us, I think we've seen it in the past. But if you haven't really grasped exactly how big this campaign of hatred is, because I mean, who amongst us have ever sat down and counted how many nasty articles were written in the Express? How many nasty articles are written in the Fail in a 24-hour period? Well, this person obviously has done the work, and didn't they mention that in the docuseries? Am I wrong? Did they mention that in the docuseries? Hey, Rohini, I got a package today. It said Rohini. Anyway, I haven't picked it up yet, but next time that I'm in Chicago, which should be real soon, I am going to go and pick it up so I can enjoy it. I'm going to put my teeth in and I'm going to take a photo and share it with everyone. So thank you so much. I am just excited and I can't wait to go and get it. So, yeah, next time I'm in Chicago, I'm going to go and grab it and I will share those photos. Thank you a gazillion. And that was so nice. I mean, who sends stuff like that? You know, a lot of people nowadays, it's like, who wants to go and mail something off or, pack something to go? But when people do that, that is an extra level of care. So I really, really do appreciate that. I always say if it wasn't for Amazon, I wouldn't give nearly as many gifts as I have given in the past few years. Amazon makes it so easy. Like a dear friend of mine that, oh gosh, I want to say he was about, maybe 22 years my senior. Yeah. But anyway, he was much older than me. But in my life, he had been like a father figure. And I mean to tell you, our friendship continued from the 1980s. And as I grew older, I always felt, very protective of him because you could see that he was going into a bit of a decline. And so when wintertime came around, just by chance, he goes to the mailbox and there's a hat and a scarf, or there's some thermal socks or something like that. There's a coffee cup. I ordered a custom coffee cup for a book of poetry that he had published, and I was glad to do that. And as much as people love to kind of crap all over Amazon and Jeff Bezos, I mean to tell you, it made stuff like that so much easier that you can give actually some very personal gifts. So instead of jumping on the hate train, I'm just going to be very positive and optimistic about it. It's done a lot for me, and it gives you a chance to pass those blessings on while you're thinking about it instead of, oh my God, I got to go to the post office. I got to find something to box this in, and nah. Not everybody has the time for it, and so yeah, that's something that I appreciate about Amazon, is that it makes it so much easier to do stuff like that. And you can surprise people like, so much easier. And just have to use Amazon. I mean, there's Walmart is a good place to find stuff, eBay, Etsy, wherever. But sending someone that surprise blessing like that just because, no birthday, just because, I love doing that. Just don't always have the time to make that trip to the post office. So thank you, Rohini. That is very, very kind of you. Let's see. Rohini says it's a 5 million, is it 5M business model with the press maligning Meghan Markle makes money. Yes, maligning Meghan Markle makes. I think you said that before, right? I think you said that before. I used to get some really amazing quotes from Rohini. I usually never shared them, but I'm just like, wow. Yeah. Thank you for saying that, Rohini. And that is exactly what it is. Let's see. Diva says if the Sussexes sued everybody who slagged them off, they would have no time to do their work. Some of the Derangers want to be sued because the attention, ooh, and notoriety they'll get keeps paying them dust. Keep paying them dust. Exactly. That is so wise and that is so true. That engagement, that attention, that notoriety would only help their cause. Like I'm going to tell you, and it's not limited to just the person writing the article. It also goes for the newspaper. The Daily Mail knew full well when they printed portions of Meghan's personal letter to her father that set them up for liability. They knew that. But the money that they made from violating Meghan's copyright, the amount of money that they made, the the business model behind that was so great that it was worth the risk. And so Meghan took them to court and she won an undisclosed amount of money. The Daily Fail, they also won because it bolstered their image as the go to source for hostility against the Sussexes, against the Duchess of Sussex. It was a win win for them. It didn't matter that they were found out to be in wrong. They didn't care about that. The very racially ambiguous Lord Nappyhead and his paper, Lord Nappyhead being the owner, of course, they were able to get all of the street cred that they could muster from being the attack machine with that letter. So it was worth it. It was worth it. Anybody who thinks that they paid some price or something for having done that, no, it was mostly money making. But thank you so much for that, Diva. That is so timely. It is so true that they want the attention. They want to the Sussexes to go after them. I mean, that was exactly what fed that hoghead Piers Morgan all that time that he was on television on Good Morning Britain, is because he literally boosted his popularity by trashing Meghan and Harry constantly. Mostly Meghan, because as we all know, Piers Morgan seems to have it in for women of color, black women. He seems to have a thing about that. Myra V says the Rhoda hates themselves for not being powerful enough to destroy Meghan. Meghan still standing makes them look weak. Weak. Absolutely weak. It does. It makes them look weak. Let's see. Rohini said, oh, by the way, thank you for the comment, Myra V. Rohini says, I wonder if they could go after the companies who buy ads on these papers. I shouldn't think so. I think the only thing that would really affect the companies that buy the ads is people letting them know that, they're not going to frequent their businesses or buy their products because of the ads. And even some of the companies that have shied away from those papers, they still have a clever way of inserting ads from companies that would much rather ignore them. But I still see some really big companies here and there popping up in the corner of the screen or whatever. So, and of course, these advertisements, they use those cookies to track us across the internet. So that is also a problem. Jose Williams says the racist British reporters and commentators have only succeeded in outing themselves as toxic creeps they are. As the toxic creeps they are. They have, Jose. That is true. Francine Mosley says the squad has done a lot of damage on the tabloids. That is also true. The tabloids, they they really they really are not sure how to handle the Sussex squad. There is no uh, leader. There's no individual that they can target to somehow uh, rein us in and control our message. These individuals that have come together, myself included, uh, that have platforms, and of course, those platforms would be nothing without the engagement, without the viewing, the reading, and such of the rest of the Sussex squad. I mean, these platforms wouldn't be anything without you all because the very consciousness of what the content creators are doing comes from the Sussex squad. Um, and that's why people who are not really Meghan fans, when they try to hitch their wagon to the squad just for the sake of, uh, the squaddies have a way of understanding. I'll just say that the squaddies have a way of understanding. So when it comes to hello, remember hello, who was there early on, never really a squatty, just someone who had a channel that reported on all things royal, um, received this tremendous gift called the royal wedding, Harry and Meghan's wedding. And leading up to the wedding, there was such a huge amount of new subscribers. And I'm pretty sure that he thought that that was going to last forever, but it didn't. It all came crashing down once the Sussex squad got his number, wink, wink. Once we figured out what his number was, there was never a brooch so big or a tiara so large that we could not see the ugliness behind it. So that is what I mean by crossing the Sussex squad is not a good thing. It's not good for the royal rodents, and it's not good for content creators. Um, yeah, it's just not good, and it's a lot of pressure. The Sussex squad puts a lot of pressure, and it makes them look over their shoulders. Remember when Robert Jobson was on one of those shows, and he mentioned how the Sussex squad made life so difficult for him. You better believe it. You better believe it. You better believe it. And all we do is call people out. It's not like we lie. We don't have to lie. We just point out those inconsistencies. They don't like that. They want to be able to go on American television and lie about things that never happened or someone never said. They want to be able to do that to carry the water for the institution. And the big thing that really put the stop to that was the Sussex squad. For those of you that have written letters, like for instance, Joan Garcia. Joan Garcia gives them the what for. Joan Garcia is not just someone who says, "Oh, that's a terrible thing." Joan Garcia actually goes after them. She will write them, right? And there's a lot of you all who will write them. And it's something compelling, especially if there is a handwritten letter. There is something more compelling about someone writing them a letter. So thank you to everyone. I mean, each and every one of you who have gone that extra mile to reach out to these companies, to these networks, to convey your disenchantment with their choices of royal reporters invading our American television with their nonsense. So, yeah, thank you all for that. Let me see. Reba Henderson says, Baron, the UK media, trolls, derangers, royal family, and firm are trying to invade our spaces to get ideas, but they don't, I'm sorry, but they do not, should I say, comment because we smell them out quickly. Yes, that is so true. One whiff of inconsistency, one whiff of trouble, and we call them out. Absolutely. You know, you just cannot fake something like that. You just can't. You can't fake a connection to the Sussexes. It's something that happens very organically. You cannot fake that. Try as they may, but because when they have ulterior motives, it's just so obvious. It's so obvious. I mean, there were people, and I'm sure there are still people that uh, don't trust me, and that's fine. I want the critical eye, because it means that we're on our toes. It means that we're paying attention. So I don't mind that at all. I don't mind that at all. It's what I think about myself that matters the most. Um, if I believed myself to be morally bankrupt, then that would be a problem. But that someone else is of the opinion, and that's all it is. Everyone is entitled to their opinions, but not everybody is entitled to the truth. That is something that is very individual. It's either there or it's not. So, um, but we have to do that. We have to do that because um, it's not just that we're here supporting the Sussexes, but we're here supporting each other. I mean, look at how the community comes together for the fundraisers. Look at how the community, like when someone is sick or someone has had a loss or something like that, if you go through the community tab and look at some of the thoughts and prayers and kind words and encouragement that you all have shared for other squatties. I mean, it's a very emotional thing, but there's a certain spirit and that connection in spirit that the Sussex squad have. That's something that does not exist with the Derangers. They just don't have it. They're not able to raise money. Do you know? I heard one of the Derangers saying that we never are able to raise money. And when I tried to do a raffle, I'm like, a raffle? A raffle? You tried to do a raffle? I mean, that is, that just, I tell you what, I tell you what, if I ever say raffle, please remind me of this moment when I say that I don't think that's a good idea, that kind of stinks. Please remind me I said that. I won't be offended. I hope I don't ever take it into my head to have a raffle because that just smells of corruption. Yes, throw it back in my face. I'm giving you permission to do that. Um, Not a good idea. I mean, this lady's like, yeah, and I tried to do a raffle. I'm like, girl, a raffle. this is also someone that is raising money for a school in another country. I was just like, that's interesting. And that she would give a receipt to anybody who needs to have the receipt at tax time. So yeah, it's a lot of stuff like that that happens with the Derangers that is so different from the experience that we have with each other. I'm just saying. Um, Let me see if I could find that sound bite. Let me see if I could find that. But it was so I'm telling you guys, I found myself stumbling through a very sorry, a very dark space, but I learned so much. I learned so much, and I do mean to tell you, I've actually learned some of their weaknesses. Um, is this it? Uh, Yeah, but if you listen long enough, you will learn some of their weaknesses. I don't encourage it because, as someone said earlier, it can be impactful on your mental health. That is true. But they also say it's always good to know the way of the enemy. And that was something that I learned. I was like, wow, just wow. Oh man, I don't think I have it. I played it the other day. You guys may remember that. I played it the other day where the person was saying the advantages of the Sussex squad, but I don't think I have it anymore. That is too bad because it was brilliant. Let me see if I can find it someplace else. Woo! I'm just saying, though, they are a mess. They are an absolute mess, and I love it. They could not agree to cross the street together. They'd probably push each other into the traffic. That's how the Derangers are. They would probably push each other into the traffic. And then of course, I found out that one of the anyway, let me stop. It was interesting though. I was like, talk. Keep talking. Yeah, sorry you all. I don't think I have it anymore, but yeah. They are losing. They're okay. Royal Sussex has what, 43,000 subscribers. Sometimes a video may get only 15,000 views. On any given day, I might get up to 15,000 views. Imagine having 80,000 subscribers, 87, 88,000 subscribers, and getting 9,000 views. That happens to them. They have all those subscribers and just a handful of views in comparison. So, how long can they maintain that nastiness? How long can they do that? That's what I want to know. Let me see. So, yeah, that's not it either. Okay, sorry about that. I don't have it. But yeah, Sussex Global UK. Hello, Ivy here. Hello, Ivy here. Let's see. I've been laughing at this Twitter account all day. Have you? Okay. It is laughable sometimes though. They okay, so let me get to this one that I have on the screen since I've had it up here for a while. Let me see, was it I was so worried about Philip Schofield and his mental health. She is so compassionate that's why she engages in this, in the kind of online bullying that drives people to harm themselves. So she can show people exactly what cyberbullying looks like. Hashtag education. So that particular deranger, and I appreciate you not saying who it is, but that particular deranger is worried about Philip Schofield. She says it's obvious that Philip Schofield is not a pleasant person, but he has been called out for his behavior on the worldwide stage. He's lost all his jobs, his reputation, his career is dead in the water. Enough now. He's being punished. Enough. It's like someone wants blood or worse. Now, it's incredible. It's incredible that she has all this compassion. And not just her. We remember, you know, how they circled the wagons, how they closed rank when he first got in trouble. All of those royal reporters were like, enough now. Enough is enough. We don't want him to harm himself. Enough is, and he said he didn't want to harm himself. Do you want me to be like that? Do you want me to be like that? And it was so orchestrated. Even when he took his mama down to the park where there was a high definition DSLR camera pointed in their direction so that they could take a photo. So this melodrama, this penny dreadful, they could put it in the papers when Philip told his mother. Who cares? It was all so contrived, so orchestrated. But they got away with it. And now, I don't know if you guys have heard this. I don't know how true it is. Guess who's coming back to television? Guess who's coming back? It makes me very suspicious about Holly leaving so abruptly. Guess who's coming back? Yes, Philip Schofield is coming back. I'm not surprised. I always knew it would happen, but it's practically official now. He's coming back to television. So he had jobs lined up when he left. You know what they say, out of sight, out of mind. Go away, be very contrite, go away, do some work on yourself, and then come back. Well, he's coming back. And who knows, maybe someday in the future, Holly will be back. But I think that the goal is to get him in there. And if Holly is there, it's kind of a reminder of the worst of times. But with Holly out of the way, getting him back on television, and of course, you can't have them on different shows competing against each other. So better to put him on a show, even if it's a different show, and to bring Holly back in some other capacity. But you better believe, allegedly, there has been some severance deal made for Holly to step down and to give him a chance to come back, unimpeded, to come back. And that's what I believe allegedly is going on. So, yeah, boy, I tell you, there are so many things at play. Now, I have that screenshot up there of the Deranger account. I'm hoping that you guys cannot see whose account it is. It's so blurry. But that particular person is a hater. And, well, anyway, let me see. Well, I can't see it, so I'm assuming that you all can't either. But whatever the case, even if you can, it's just so hypocritical and so ironic that they want all of this consideration for Schofield, and they are literally trying to destroy the Duchess of Sussex. Make that make sense. Enter Justin Timberlake, Cry Me a River. He successfully neutralized Wooten, rather. Yeah, neutralize Wooten, exactly. And he'll be back someday. He'll be back. They always come back. British television, the establishment, the upper crust of British society, and the people that support them, things that would be career ending in the United States is just a blip on the radar uh, in the UK. It really is. There's a lot of things that you could not survive in the US, especially going after women of color. That is like a big no no. That is a big no no. And yet, there are people in the UK that feed on that. I mean, that is their lifeblood. Only the fringe elements in the US can play that game. But in the UK, it seems to be mainstream television. And that's is shocking to me. But um, and I don't know the full story, but as an outside observer, it just seems rather mainstream. It's okay. The whole thing with Danny Baker, the fact that he was able to keep his job is vastly different from here in the U.S. Very different. Oh, really? Okay. Okay. All right. Thank you so much. Yeah, the man has a lot of money. If he never works again, he'll be okay. But in order to feel relevant and in order to project his power, he really has to be on television. That's the only way he can feel powerful. Okay, so there you have the Sussexes. Whatever they have said about Meghan not knowing her place or not realizing, I went and posted this because just as a reminder, just in case anybody in the Sussex squad is feeling any doubt, and I'm sure you're not, but just in case, remember Meghan, who the Derangers and all the commentators, the nasty commentators, they were saying, why is she going to Germany? She doesn't need to be there. She doesn't have anything to do. She's only going to be in the way. She's going to take attention away from Harry. Well, when Meghan showed up in Dusseldorf, it was electric. The crowds were already um, excited. But when Meghan showed up, it was a whole nother story. So the idea that they know better than we do, the idea that they have the truth bombs that will define Meghan's place here or there is all just smoke and mirrors. Meghan made a great uh, what do you call it, Invictus Games even greater. And that is the truth. We have the proof, we have the evidence. And even if the Derangers want to ignore it, if they want to pretend otherwise, that's on them. That we know the truth. That is what's most important. Is that Meghan was incredibly popular. People were very excited every time they had a chance to see her, and we all know it. So, even some of the German people that may not know the full story, or maybe they just read the nasty things in their tabloids, they were no less excited to meet the Duchess of Sussex. Team Ukraine, smothering her with love. And of course, Nigeria, smothering her with love. All of that happened. And whatever lies they tell is not going to take that away. Won't happen. Let me see. Shall I? Huh? Huh? Yeah. Why is she going? She don't need to be there. Why is she going? That's why. That's why. Okay? That's why. Because, well, let me see. Do I have another? Of course I do. Did you see the little boy waving with both hands with that big smile? I mean, come on. That just, oh, that right there, especially the shorts that I posted, some of the nasty comments they were saying is because they just could not take how popular Meghan was. They could not stand how excited people were. They couldn't stand it. I found this today. I didn't really have a point to it, but I found it, so I'm sharing it with you. Very cool. Now, let's get on to Tyler Perry. Oh, you guys are going to love this. You're going to love it. This just came out today. You may have heard about it already, but I didn't know it was a thing until today. So let me hydrate. Tyler Perry, as Oprah would say, hello, Tyler Perry. Anyway, watch Tyler Perry share his life story in Maxine's Baby, the Tyler Perry story documentary trailer. Yes, there's a trailer. Cannot share it with you, but there is a trailer. The Prime Video documentary film about Tyler Perry's difficult upbringing and entertainment industry success began streaming November 17th. Mystic Toxin, thank you so much for being here. I didn't get my push notification until a few minutes ago. What the heck? I'm so sorry that happened, Mystic Toxin. And Mystic Toxin, I know you were upset yesterday. I hope you're feeling better. I really do care. I hope you're feeling better. So if you're not, it's okay not to feel better until you're there. But I hope you are. So either way, we're glad to have you here. It's been brutal on these airways. So I understand. And that goes for everybody. If you're not there, if you're not, if you're feeling a certain way, and it doesn't necessarily have to be simply because of the latest headlines, but a lot of things trigger some of those emotions that have been lying dormant all this time. A lot of those emotions bubble up to the surface, and it's okay to not be okay. All right. It really is okay. But all in due time. All in due time. You have to work these things out at your own pace. Let's see. Shadow's mom, thank you so much for the super sticker. And thank you so much for watching Royal Sussex. And Mystic Toxin says, thank you all. I am doing better. Spending the day with my kids helped a ton. Very, very cool. I'm so glad to hear that. So glad to hear that. And give our best to the kids. Yeah, tell those kids they got a whole bunch of aunties and a few uncles in the Sussex squad. Okay. All right, so that is, here we go. Tyler Perry is telling his life story in a new documentary. On Tuesday, Prime Video released the trailer for Maxine's Baby, the Tyler Perry story, which dives into the something of a, okay, let me see. I got to pull that down to see it. Sorry about that, y'all. Oh, that didn't help. Details. You couldn't have paid me to know that was the next word. Dives into the details of the 54-year-old's upbringing and path toward his growth into one of the most successful filmmakers of his generation. The documentary trailer opened with a clip from Perry's 2010 appearance on CBS 60 Minutes, noting that at the time, 5 of Perry's movies had opened at the top spot of the domestic box office in the 4 preceding years. The trailer then dives into how Perry, born Emmett Perry Jr., changed his name due to his difficult relationship with his father and abusive childhood. Personalities interviewed in the film note that Perry broke every rule in Hollywood when he broke out with 2005's Diary of a Mad Black Woman and 2006's Medea Family Reunion. Let's see. The upcoming documentary will also dive into Perry's relationship with his mother, Willie Maxine Perry. That was his mom, by the way, Willie Maxine Perry, and how her death in 2009 affected him at the height of his success. While an official synopsis for the documentary describes Perry as an entertainment behemoth, it also notes Perry is a man working humbly to heal his childhood trauma by transforming his pain into promise. According to Prime Video, the documentary, named after his mother, is a tender and intimate portrait of visionary and innovator Tyler Perry and his harrowing but faithful road to the top of the industry that didn't always include him. So there you go. You know, guys, there's always going to be people that will discourage you, that will not share your vision, that will have other ideas about how you should do the things that you do. But as long as it's your way of telling the story, as long as it's your way of creating or interpreting whatever it is you're doing, then at least it's authentic. And there's so much strength in that authenticity, which is why, even though someone had a comment last week where they said, can you thank people after you finish your point? Sometimes you're making a point and then you say, thank you for the super chat. I don't want to do that. I want to do it in that moment. I want that positivity injected into my being and on the space in that moment. I don't want to do it later. There's a few squatties that you see on other channels and you don't see them here. It wasn't only that they decided to try to change things, but they were very rude about it. They used some pretty nasty language. The tone was all wrong. And so I was like, well, if I never see this person again, it'll be too soon. And it's not that I'm angry or anything like that, but it's just the tone was wrong. It's okay to have an opinion, but the tone was awful. I mean, awful. So that is something that is unacceptable. But yeah, it's a thing, and you just have to be as authentic as possible. And for the most part, I feel as people have responded to that authenticity. And it's not always what you want, but it's honest, and that's what matters the most. It's a certain way that I express my creativity, even with my family. When are you going to get your sleep pattern right? You're always at these odd hours. Well, every day I have that intention, but creatively, I am in my element at about 3 a.m. And that's just the way it is. And sometimes, I'm in my element earlier, sometimes it's later, but that's just the way it is. So thank goodness Tyler Perry had an audience of one, and that, of course, himself, that he was able to go against those conventions of Hollywood. He told the story his way. Do you guys remember when Roger Ebert got in trouble? Now, Roger Ebert told the truth, and Roger Ebert said what everybody else was thinking. However, well, not everybody else, but a certain segment of people that are used to a Hollywood formula for filmmaking. Tyler Perry has his formula for filmmaking. And at this point, I just have to tell you, Roger Ebert apologized. He was on Oprah Winfrey. He said he didn't understand. And what he didn't understand is Tyler Perry's way of movie making, his way as a storyteller, is his way. And his way happens to be something that a lot of African Americans, a lot of people who felt disenfranchised, they loved the way he told the story. Um, you could have some very serious, tender moments. You could have some very life and death exchanges, definitive moments, followed by the height of comedy. Well, that sounds a lot like Royal Sussex, doesn't it? You just never know what you're going to get. It all just seems to come together. Its disorder somehow becomes cohesive. And it's nothing that's planned, it's just the way that it is. You don't know. But for the people who have, I don't know, taken a liking to it, thank you. Thank you for allowing me to be myself. Thank you for making room for me to be myself and not what other people want. So without your support, there would be no Royal Sussex. So I promise you, I'm going to keep effing up left and right as I've always done. I'm going to keep doing things haphazard and inconsistent and weird as I've always done. You can count on it. So I may not ever have Tyler Perry's success, but at least I'm being authentic. Let me see. Oh, yes. Thank you, Joan Garcia. I did not make a slide for that. I didn't see it until last minute, but it is true. Serena Williams is ready to tell her story. So a 2-book deal. This is a great time for publishing. I can assure you that the publishing industry have been so blessed. They've had Prince Harry, a few other people, and now Serena Williams. Success. And thank you very much, Joan Garcia. So, what's that? Okay, Baron, don't change. Too many charlatans out there in many walks of life. Continue being true to yourself. Thank you. Thank you so much. And bye for now. Bye from Ivy. Bye. I love that. Hello, Ivy here. Ivy, I want you to picture me walking around my house saying that to myself and just smiling every time for like an entire day. That was my first impression. It doesn't take much to make me happy. That was like my favorite thing for at least a week. I couldn't stop. Good morning, Nithalando. Thank you so much. Good morning, according to South Africa Times. I'm sorry, according to South Africa Time. It is morning in South Africa, is what you're saying. I get it. To Baron and all beloved squatties, very late, but happy to say hi on a live. Well, thank you so much for being here. And thank you for being a member of Royal Sussex. Very, very grateful. Deborah says, Mr. Ebert was a nice man, always approachable. My daddy knew him being at the Sun-Times. Yeah, he was a good guy. He was a very good guy. He just, he did his job the way that he knew to do it. And it was a little tone deaf, but Roger Ebert, he had been disciplined in the usual Hollywood formula of movie making, and something outside of that was alien to him. But when he understood he made the correction, and that really, defined him in that moment. It showed him being very gracious and being accountable, and of course he had a lot to learn. He said, I have to learn. I didn't know, I didn't understand. But Oprah told him, he said, that's, it's like one time, I won't say the name of the singer, but it's a singer that I didn't really understand because I thought their singing was awful. I This person sings better when they're singing with other people. When they're by themselves, they sing. They have a good voice, but um, they were doing all these covers for some classic songs, right? And I'm just like, that's awful. It was not an improvement. It was not as good as. It wasn't even just beneath that. It was dreadful. And I said, why are these kids, the new generation being exposed to that music? I'm like, why in the world are they accepting that? And my friend told me, she said, that's because they're going through. These kids are going through. And in an instant, one African American to another, I understood exactly what she was telling me. Going through. That means, of course, the struggles that this singer had with substance abuse, the way this singer spoke about their life, that is, was something that the kids identified with. It was their story. What happened to her was happening in their family. And I didn't understand that. All I'm thinking is the music. But what about the music? The art is suffering. She shouldn't be singing that song. Well, I was corrected. And just like Roger Ebert, I had to accept that I got it wrong. And once it was explained to me by someone that I trust, in an instant, I got it. Now, I don't know if that has ever happened to any of you, but that was my experience. And I'm so glad that I got it, because when you understand, it brings so much more clarity that it broadens your mind, it broadens your understanding, and that can only be a good thing. So I compare that to Roger Ebert's experience with the criticism of a Tyler Perry movie. So yeah, that's that. Now I'm not going to say the name of the singer. If you know, you know. I'm not going to say it. I'm not even teasing that I'm going to say it, because I'm not. But if you know, you know. And I'm just like, please don't sing those songs. Please. Oh, let's see. Anya, uh, is it Ron Risco? Baron, thanks for supporting Prince Harry and Princess Meghan. Absolutely, gladly, gladly. They inspire me, and of course, I think I fell in love with the Sussexes months before their wedding, and having a chance to see them on their wedding day and then at the Troop in the Colors, I took a crash course in all things Meghan Markle, and I was so glad to have witnessed that and gladly defend the Sussexes. And I'm super proud of Harry because of this transition that he's made from that institution into real life has been incredible. It's been something to witness. And by the way, you guys, if you're interested in human behavior and psychology and such, um, Ivy here of Sussex Global UK has gone a million miles to explain human behavior, and sometimes the explanations directly correlate with that institution. So it makes it that much easier to understand. So, yeah, you Sussex Global UK is your one stop for understanding human behavior, not just where the Sussexes are concerned, but day to day life to understand how people play on our emotions and the patterns of behavior and such. That is invaluable. Thank you so much, Ivy. Okay. Let's see. Where am I? I almost forgot what slide. Oh, that's where I am. So, Alphonse Carr said, "The more things change, the more they stay the same." Are you hip to that? The more things change, the more they stay the same. Oh, Baron, I can't support most. I'm sorry, I can support most, but if they sing off key, I have left the room. Sorry, I cannot do it flat or off. Well, it's not so much that well, yeah, it was that too, but oh, there are power singers, and it's just certain people you shouldn't go behind. I'm just, you know what I'm saying? I wasn't happy when Luther Vandross did a remake of Always and Forever. I'm just like, that's a song that even the original singer doesn't need to touch it. You know what I'm saying? That song was sacred. Now, even though Luther Vandross is a powerful singer, was a powerful singer, even though he has made many of other people's songs his own, um, I didn't want him singing that song. That song is not just lyrics, it's not just music, it's not just a vocal exercise. That song was at a period, when songs were mostly about love, and that was like a little college age, high school senior singing to his sweetie, right? And so that was the way I've always seen that song. He was singing to his honey pie. And again, not taking anything away from Lufa, as some people call him, Lufa. I just was like, Luther, that's not really for you, right? So that was one that I did not appreciate. Again, taking nothing from Luther in terms of talent and contribution to music. Um, I I would rather hear Heat Wave. That was the band that sang it originally. I would rather hear Heat Wave sing it. And I'm talking about sing it back then. Right now, I'd probably have no use for it. But that's just how I felt about it. But other than that, Luther Vandross, was all that. Um, Recollections may vary, Lydia. Recollections may vary. That's a catch-all phrase. Let's see. Sussex Global UK or hello, Ivy here. Bless you, Baron. Next year, good things happening on the publication front. Human behavior, a central theme, and the antics on the plantation. Well, I will be looking forward to that. So thank you so much. And remember, whenever you need to share any of that stuff, we are here for it, and we'll make sure that that we share it on the Royal Sussex. So, yeah, we are here for it, and thank you for bringing clarity and understanding to so much more than just the royal family. Yeah, he could sing anything he wanted to. Um, I was just a little, always and forever, each moment with you. And every day Love me your own special way. Melt all my heart away with a smile. I just that song is the spirit of the song. That's what I was concerned about. When that band sang the song, it was like they went to central casting and found just the right people, just the right lead singer. And while Luther was a powerful singer, I just was not comfortable with Luther Vandross singing that little song that was sang in the spirit of somebody being in love for the first time. That's all. That's all I'm saying. I'm not trying to diminish his talent, but yeah, you know what I'm saying. It just and like what's his name? El DeBarge. El DeBarge, another one. El DeBarge singing to his little sweetheart. That is how I want to remember those songs. I don't want to see this man who, you know, just got out the big house, has been battle hardened by a life that has gone in some weird directions. I don't want to hear him singing them songs no more. And he still sounds amazing. But I'm merely speaking of the spirit in which those songs were recorded. That's all. That's it. I hope you all understand what I'm trying to say. I'm probably not doing a good job of explaining myself, but um, it was just like I wouldn't want Michael Jackson if he was still alive. I wouldn't want him singing um I wouldn't want him singing that song as an old man. That song is for a kid. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, Lydia, that's true. He has not lost any of his vocals. Now that face looks like it has been to hell and back, but he hasn't lost his vocals. He still sounds amazing. So, um, I'm not taking that away from him, but I don't want to hear him singing about love for the first time when we all know he done been around the corner, up the block, across the street, rolling in the deep, in the big house, on that stuff. I don't want to hear him singing them songs. I don't want to hear him singing about his little honey pie. That song, those songs are for like a 16, 17-year-old in love for the first time, not somebody who looked like they'd have been rode hard and soaking wet and laid down and fried, dad, laid to the side. That ain't his songs no more. That person is frozen in time. That person is frozen in time. And I just the sooner keep that image in my head of little young El DeBarge singing about love for the first time. Not that old, decrepit, rundown. Um, oh, that face looked like somebody done surgery on it, don't it? Ooh, that face. That face, that face, that face. El DeBarge just looks. Well, you know what they say. They say it don't crack, but I tell you, when it do, it always gonna crack. But it cracked in the most epic way. I mean, cracked like the tectonic plates beneath the Pacific Ocean cracked, like a fissure opening up in a ice glacier. It cracked. Mm-hmm. Yep, it cracked all right. It cracked like like Lizzo doing a split. Okay, that's too much. But it cracked. Lisette says, Baron, use your comedian talent and go on tour. I'll buy a premium ticket. Well, thank you, Lisette. I appreciate that. Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes I start riffing about something and I don't know what I'm going to say next, but I'm glad that that you guys have given me a platform so that I could express myself. But yeah, so that's it. I said what I needed to say, and hopefully there's no hurt feelings. Hopefully I haven't diminished your emotions or feelings about certain singers, but um, that's it. That's it. I picture those people that I saw young and full of life's expectations and in the prime of their lives and you know wearing the tight pants and showing they three or four little chest hairs. They're so proud to be manning up and singing in those falsettos. That was really sweet. I don't want to see um El DeBarge having been to hell and back trying to convey that type of emotion. It just feels odd, you know? It's like, hey, who daddy is this? Somebody come get your daddy. Who daddy is that? They need to get him on off that stage. Oh, okay. Let's see. Ivy says middle of next year onward is likely. It is in the formatting stage now and cover design with professionals, etc. Well, thank you, Ivy. I will be looking forward to it. I will be looking forward to it. Thank you so much. Yeah, you guys, as much as I kid around and stuff like that, when I want to know something, I am a bit of a nerd, and I don't know if I would watch Royal Sussex, but I'm glad y'all enjoying it. I'd be like, uh oh, here he goes. uh, anyway, I'm just kidding, but thank you guys, and thank you again, Ivy. Let me see here. Let me see, Baron. I had been with you for so long that I have started to like your singing. Wow, now that's miraculous. Well, it's also dangerous, Myra V, because if you've ever had a good ear for music, if you were ever able to call out the different keys, I may have ruined your ability to identify certain music keys. Like for instance, an E flat may have become a G terrible. Let me see. Why are you being painfully disrespectful to L? Why? Because L has. You know how they say that a wine is better with age? Well, I would say that he is. I don't have an explanation. I'm just going to stick with what I said earlier. That's it. Let me see. I actually agree with you, Baron. I have never found a remake of a song that I like better than the original. Just not the same. Yeah, right. Okay. I'm gonna give like a couple of exceptions. How about Aretha Franklin doing "Say a Little Prayer," right? And gosh, what was the other song that she took from Dionne Warwick? Aretha had the ability to take a song and never give it back. Uh, and of course, Luther Vandross. A house is not a home. He wasn't the first to sing it, but he owned it. So those are the exceptions. Those there's a handful of exceptions. Oh, and Aretha Franklin. Oh, what's the song? Um, Respect. That was Otis Redding, right? But Aretha Franklin owned that song. So I'm going to give credit where credit is due. But Aretha Franklin should have never sang Rolling in the Deep. Now, that was just a shame. That was a shame. Aretha Franklin, Rolling in the Deep. Why you mess with that girl's song, Aretha? Why? By the way, you guys, ooh, hold on. Oh, you all, I'm so sorry. Well, that's it for Royal Sussex. I am going to call my attorney because it looks like I have just found a handwritten last will and testament from Aretha Franklin. It's in pencil. It's not notarized, but if it's anything like the other last wills and testaments, if it's anything like the other last will and testaments that people pulled out of couch cushions or found behind the peanut butter in the pantry, I should be rich this time next week. So, anyway, it was nice knowing y'all. Oh man, that was so funny. How many wheels did they find? Didn't they find like three different wheels? One in crayon, one in pencil, one in crayon and pencil. There was one that was written with eyeliner. There was one on the back of the bathroom mirror and lipstick. I mean, they found so many different last wills and testaments for Aretha Franklin. What amazes me is that they were able to actually narrow it down to just one. None of them were legally documented. They were not notarized. They were not witnessed by an attorney. And still, they had the nerves to go to court and hand over that document that was stained with chicken grease and hand it to the court and say, I'm entitled to half of everything, or I get the house, or whatever. Yep. So if it's good enough for them, it's good enough for me. I won't have. Hey, all it takes is nerves. You know what they say? All it takes is nerves. You don't have to be authentic. You don't have to be right. You just have to have nerves. And if you got them nerves, then somebody is going to pick up what you're putting down. So, yeah, that was the state of Aretha Franklin's estate. Oh my goodness, that was just so tacky. The whole thing was tacky. Mm, I'm telling y'all, when a black celebrity dies, I brace myself because you know it's about to be some stuff. The funeral is going to go on for about 2 days. There's going to be a struggle over who is getting the this and getting the that and which wheel is authentic. I have to brace myself because I know it's going to be a performance. Mm-hmm. It's going to be a performance. But yeah, anyway, that's my peeps and I love them. Have to say, never a dull moment, right? uh, oh, well, let me see here. Oh, let me get back to this slide. So, the more things change, the more they stay the same. Alphonse Carr. Now, Alphonse was born in Paris to German parents. He lived to be 81. He died in 1890. And he coined the phrase, the more things change, the more they stay the same. Well, take a look at this. Cartoon from 1930s doesn't seem like it's changed much now. Overfunding when we aren't even at war. So, as you can see, look in the background. This is from the 1930s. All the money seems to go to war. There's no money for healthcare, education, sciences, and arts, right? Nothing's changed. Nothing's changed. And take a look at this. This is another indication that the more things change, the more they stay the same. Even after your car is several years old, even after you made the last payment, you could be sitting in a bathroom stall. You could be on vacation in Waikiki, and somebody is going to say, "Hi, I've been trying to reach you about your car's warranty." It's true. They are constantly worried about your car's warranty. There's no escaping it. And sometimes I tell them, I say, listen, I don't need your warranty. I won the lottery. I'm a billionaire. I am independently wealthy. I invented the paper clip, whatever. I'm rich. I don't need anybody's help, but thank you. Oh, because see, the thing is, if your car is, listen, I don't need your help. I'm a billionaire. I'm hanging out right now with Bill Gates. Leave me alone. Okay, we'll call you back tomorrow. uh, so that's one of my favorites. And then, of course, when the rich, when the rich rob the poor, is called business. When the poor fight back, is called violence. Again, the more things change, the more they stay the same. So that is yet another way of saying that that the working class, the poor people, they're the ones that get the shaft, so to speak. So, um, and then here, Kate Middleton keeps wearing this Zara blazer that's still in stock, plus similar options if it sells out. Well, listen, that is self-explanatory. If it's something Kate wore, of course it's in stock. Not only is it in stock, but nobody really wants it anyway. Um, it's not Meghan. Meghan sells everything. If it's Kate, it's like, oh, her hair looks nice. That's it. There's no there. So Kate has been wearing all these Zara blazers, and there hasn't been a big run on the TX Max, TJ Max, TK Max. There hasn't been a big run to go and get those blazers. Nobody's interested. Nobody cares. Why? Because it's Kate Middleton. She doesn't move fashion. She doesn't get fashion. Whatever she wears, I love when the Derangers say Meghan makes expensive things look cheap, as if Kate makes cheap things look cheap. Kate is so bad she could make cheap stuff look cheap. She could make nice stuff look cheap, and she could make cheap stuff look even cheaper. I mean, Kate can take something new with the labels on it, and you know it was bought at a car boot sale. So that's the difference. Let me see here. Mary Myra V says, Mary, oh, that was for someone else. I'm sorry. Jerry Butler, never gonna give you up. Wait a minute. Did he sing that first? Did he sing that first? Let's see. Those accountants and lawyers, says Reba Henderson, do not take care of our people. James Brown, Prince, Michael, Red Fox. Yeah, that's part of the story. But okay, with Red Fox was from a different generation, and back in those days, they could not, and you're right about that. They didn't take care of our people, but the more modern day people should know better. But those people back in those days, they really couldn't trust the system. So, um, it was a sign of the times. They got cheated a lot. There was like a conspiracy to rip them off, but fortunately, you got the younger generation, like the Beyoncés that or the Janet Jacksons that are all about business that got a good handle on these things. So we don't have to pass a hat to try to get them put away like they used to do in the old days. One of the cemeteries, I think in New York State, or is it in New Jersey? Whichever cemetery it is, got a lot of the jazz people buried there, and so many of our people, African Americans, have been dead and buried for years, and there's no grave marker. So there has been a movement, at least in the jazz community, to put a proper marker on those graves. Thank God for that, because those people that had such a huge impact, not only on American music, but the way the world listens to music, they deserve to be remembered properly, with respect. So I'm so glad for that. I think, what's her name? Oh gosh, what is her name? The black pilot, Bessie Coleman. I think they generally know where she's buried, but she's in an unmarked grave, and people have lost, wherever it is. So, a lot of very famous people that helped to define American history as we know it, um, in particular, Black people that are in these unmarked graves and just about forgotten about. So, or nearly forgotten about, should I say? That is a real shame. But yeah, the industry was very hostile toward Black people. But if I could quote the very wise um, Maya Angelou, when you know better, you do better. So we know better now when we do better. Let me see. Let me see. She makes cheap look even cheaper. She does. She does. Well, she's not poised and elegant. She's just kind of, you know what I'm saying? It's no surprise that there's plenty of those blazers just sitting around. And of course, if they want Kate to be the face of Zara, you know what I'm saying? If they want Case to be the Kate to be the face of Zara, you know what I say is go ahead, have at her, have her then. Let Kate be the face of your product. Let Kate be the face of any product, anything. And that's, I'm not being shady. I'm trying to help her find some relevancy. Kate, the face of Zara or whatever blazer she's wearing, they can have her. Okay. And with that, you guys, let us all gaze out onto the ocean or the lake or the pond at that beautiful full moon. Let's pretend like this is our living room and we're all just going to put our feet up and relax and think about the rest of the week and being productive and being there for our families and our friends that are family and so on. But yeah, I love this photo. It just I look at it and I just feel relaxed. I feel like I have been transported. Yeah, got a nice cup of tea and listening to the waves. Whoosh, You know, the first time that I ever slept like by the ocean and I was listening to the waves, I tell you, I had the best sleep. I had the best sleep in all my life. I had never experienced that. And when I did, it was everything. So beautiful. And it was like in the afternoon. So I had to put an eye mask on so the light wouldn't get to me. But I left the screen, I was at a hotel. I left the screen closed and I left the balcony door open. And I just heard those waves. And I tell you, I was transported. I felt like I was floating on that hotel quality bed with those big fluffy pillows. Oh, I tell you, that was some of the best sleep I ever had in my life. You know, funny you should say that because I almost put a slide up and I was gonna go there, but I changed my mind at the last minute. I changed my mind at the last minute. I said, no, that might even be kind of hard for me to do. You know, that would be, even by my standards, that would be a bit shameful. So I didn't do it. But I'm glad we're on the same page. Let's see. Alex says, Never Gonna Give You Up was made by Dionne Warwick first, sung but given to Jerry Butler. Okay. I guess I don't know the song. Never Gonna Give You Up. I would play it, but I can't because I get in trouble. But I will check it out later. Huh. I love Dionne Warwick. I love that. She has a lovely tone to her voice. I really love it. It's very clean and consistent. Oh, Country's Kitchen Cottage Curtain Couture. Kate's Country Kate's Country Kitchen Cottage Curtains Couture. There you go. Thank you so much. Okay. All right. So anyway, you all, I'm glad we all had a chance to relax, and I think that should just about do it for Royal Sussex. Let me see. Oh, I got one more slide. Here's our last word. Here's that last word. If you're having a bad day, just remember somebody you went to high school with is still trying to be a rapper. Yeah. So that should make you feel better. Somebody you went to high school with is still trying to be a rapper. And with that, you guys, thank you so much for watching Royal Sussex. And I hope everyone is feeling better today, considering the way the news has been going. Thank you. I appreciate that we have all been here for each other. That is a good thing. Thank God for another day. So, yeah, and that's it. Hmm. Yeah, I'm done. So, love you guys. I will see you all tomorrow. Hopefully, not nearly as late, but like I said, I had to work on some things and I'm feeling better and I'm in a good place. And I hope everyone else is too. Um, yeah, and let's pray for peace. Let's keep hope alive. Mm-mm-mm. Kate is fine as long as she stays in the UK. Yeah, and you know she doesn't do anything outside of that 15-mile radius from what's that place? Adelaide Cottage. She doesn't seem to travel much further than that. So, hmm. I wonder if she's afraid that her stuff will be packed up and in a shipping container if she stays away too long. Remember, she made that first and only solo trip abroad when she went to Denmark, and the people in Denmark are still trying to figure out what was that about? What was that about? Okay. Or trying to be an influencer, right? Exactly. Or trying to be an influencer. Mm-hmm. They say a lot of kids when they ask them, say, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" They say, "A YouTuber or a TikToker." Hmm. Yep, that's what they're saying. They would rather forego college and be a TikToker. All right. So good. I am gonna go. Thank you again, everyone, and remember to pray for your family, your friends, the Sussexes. Pray for world peace. Try not to drown in these awful headlines. Um, I I believe that God has a plan. There's always a greater power, and God has a plan. And it may not be obvious to us now, but in time, all shall be revealed. Okay. Oh, Desiree, wouldn't that be nice? Sitting by and the beach, and everybody's got their favorite beverage or hot chocolate or whatever, listening to those waves. Whoosh, whoosh. This would be a really cool video to have with the waves in the background. I'm sure there's got to be some type of beach video out there, or like waterfront video where you can listen to those waves. Yeah, that would be so relaxing. Oh man, I mean, my eyes are getting heavy at the thought of it. So, all right, well, I better go. And all the best to Mama Doria, and of course, uh, Princess Diana. Thank you um, for everything. Just think about it. All of us are here right now because of Princess Diana and her popularity, and of course that the way that it kind of rubbed off on Harry, inherited by Harry, and then Harry met Meghan, and that's kind of the reason why we're all here. Diana had an amazing impact on the world, and has been so underrated for that. But I feel obliged to keep her memory alive and to remind people, just as Harry has been doing all these years. Oh, well, Mary H., what's going to happen is you're going to think about that later, and you're going to be out somewhere laughing, and people are not going to know what's going on. It's kind of like one of those things where it kind of comes back to you, and nobody knows what's so funny. But you have to be careful, Mary H., because what if you like are out somewhere and somebody that's a little too old to have their hat on backwards, or their pants so baggy or something like that? What if you see someone like that and you just start laughing? Now that can go terribly wrong. So please be careful with that, because they that person will probably know what you're laughing at. They're going to give you that look like, I am a rapper. I just haven't been discovered yet. Oh man. Okay. Let's see. Oh, Sussex Team Warrior. Oh, okay. Well, thank you. I hope you enjoy it. Just so you know, we had a pretty good day. It was pretty mellow. Yeah, it was pretty mellow. So anyway, I'm looking forward to what's ever next for the Sussexes, and we'll be here to talk about it. All right. All right. So love you guys. I will see you tomorrow. And I'm going to cue the Ginger Avenger, and we're out. Okay. Thank you, Cookies and Cream. Will do. All right. Okay. See you tomorrow. Bye con dias. Arrivederci. Cheers.
Ladies and gentlemen, okay, let's kick off the evening with some incredible music.
Wife.
My wife. My wife and I.
My wife and I. My wife and I. My wife and I. For me and my wife.
Me and my wife. I'm so proud of my wife.
My incredible wife.
And an amazing wife.
The soulmate in my wife.
Thank you, my love.
The mother to my children.
The love of my life. My wife.
My wife.
My wife. My wife and I.
My wife and I. My wife and I. My wife and I. For me and my wife.
Me and my wife. I'm so proud of my wife.
My incredible wife.
And an amazing wife.
The soulmate in my wife.
Thank you, my love.
The mother to my children.
The love of my life.